I first set up the trapeze. I have a bar up that I hook up onto these hooks so that I can lower it as I wind up more warp going from back to front. The warp is fed through the homemade rattle, which is over the shafts. And then it winds down to the warp beam. Now I feed the bar that I'm going to wind the warp on, and I put it through the end of the cross on each of the sections of warp, and then I attach it to the beam. Now with this, I'm able to then string the warp over and keep it in line with the rest of the warp. As you can see, this is the section of warp. These clips keep it straight so that I can twist it around and put it in the correct order. Same thing here. So these are straight threads, and I can line it up with the one here too. See, I'm twisting it around to where all of these are in line. Now I put in my lee sticks. One goes in alongside the bar. The other one goes in this side of the cross. I make sure that the threads are lined up straight. And I use these rings to attach them together. I then attach the rings using a bungee cords on both sides so that the lee sticks are pretty well intact and not going to move. And you notice the warp threads are all in line all the way up. Then I try and get the warp thread straightened out Notice how this twists. So I use the clips to straighten it out. There, now I have them all in line. I do that all the way over the trapeze. Now you can see I have all the warp threads in line going up and over the trapeze. And then I'll do that with the rest of the warp bunches. Now I have all my warp threads straight in line all the way up and over the trapeze and down to the floor. Now for tension, I use these big dowlings that are put between the two sides of the loom. I've rerouted the warp below the breast beam, and so that if it comes above it, it pulls this up above. But when the warp goes below the breast beam, then the tension doesn't cause this to lift up. Now that I have all my warp threads all lined up through the tension holes, through the rattle, lead sticks, I now can undo the clips on the cross. The set is 20 per inch. The nails on my rattle are every half inch, so there'd be 10 warps per half inch. And if I count out 5 on top of one of the lead sticks, the other 5 are here, so that's 10. So then I put that in the first section of, and I like to work from the center outward because I'm never sure how far to go. Then I count out 5 more. And I put that in the next half inch, and I continue on across the warp. Now I've finished putting the groups of warp, 10 of them in each of a half inch sections of the rattle, and they're all straight in line, as you can see. And what I'll do is then start removing all the clips. And pretty much they'll stay in line over the bar. Now I'm ready to wind on the warp. I can do this all by myself, since I've got the tension over the trapeze. Everything is still in line. I don't have a snarl at the edge of the rattle. They're coming in through smoothly winding up. While winding up the warp, I use cardboard, and sometimes we use a bamboo window screen. But everything looks pretty much straight in line. Continue winding. Everything's looking straight. You can see now where I've removed some of the clips as we go. Now that I've gone just about to the top of the trapeze, I'll take these off. And it rolls down to the next rung. I'm ready to go further. As you can see, I've wound up most of my warp, so I'm going down to the lowest notch of the trapeze. Now I'm going to take them off of the trapeze, and I'll just lower them to lower level. I still have tension bars, but everything's still in line. Now I'll take away the tension bars and the trapeze. Now you can see where I store the trapeze in the corner of the room. Now I'll wind a little bit more warp. And I'm ready to take all this off. Now I'm ready to take the rattle off. And I'm ready to string with the heddles. I still have my leaf sticks in. And now I have the bunches of warp. A lot of us like to raise the shafts so that the heddles are more accessible. So I use this C-shaped piece of wood that I slide underneath the frames, but above the heddle bars, and it holds it up real well. But there's different techniques on raising those. This is just one I use. So I've now got my warp onto the loom, and I'm ready to thread the heddles. You can notice this is all just about the same height as the heddles.